everyone, welcome back to the Jikook news channel. That night, Seoul sparkled in a different way. City lights reflected off the windows of tall buildings, creating a warm atmosphere that seemed to invite a new story to begin. Amid the hustle and bustle, one restaurant became the center of attention. A newly opened place with a modern, elegant, yet intimate concept. Dim lighting blended with soft music, and the enticing aroma of food filled the air. It was there that a small yet meaningful moment for Jikook was about to unfold. Jungkook stood in front of the mirror, examining his appearance with a hint of nervousness he rarely showed. It wasn't because of a big event, a grand stage, or the spotlight. This time, his heart was racing for something much simpler, yet far more important. A dinner, a date with Jimin. He took a deep breath, smiled slightly, and reached for his phone. He had been composing the message for several minutes, his finger hesitating before pressing send. There was a trace of fear, but also a sense of hope that warmed his chest. On the other side of the city, Jimin was lounging on the sofa with a cup of warm tea in his hand. It had been a tiring day, but his mind felt light. When a notification appeared on his phone, he slowly picked it up and read the name, Jungkook. Just seeing it made the corners of his lips lift. The message was short and simple, yet full of meaning. Jungkook invited him to try a new viral restaurant. Just the two of them, without a busy schedule, without work pressure, and without the public spotlight. Jimin read the message twice and smiled softly. There was no hesitation in his eyes, no long pause to think. He already knew the answer before finishing it. He replied quickly, saying he would come, accepting the invitation without hesitation. His heart felt light, as if he had just received long-awaited good news. There was something sincere and warm in Jungkook's invitation, and Jimin felt it clearly. When Jungkook received the reply, he closed his eyes for a moment, as if trying to contain the happiness that suddenly filled his chest. Jimin had accepted without hesitation. No questions, no excuses, no delay. That alone was enough to keep him smiling all night. He straightened his jacket, grabbed his car keys, and set off with emotions that were hard to describe. Nervousness, excitement, and hope swirled together in his mind. The restaurant was located on a quiet street corner, with a large glass facade reflecting the city lights. Even from the outside, it looked warm and inviting. Jungkook arrived first. As soon as he stepped inside, the rich aroma of spicy food greeted him. He chose a table in the corner, slightly hidden yet comfortable. He sat down, stared at the entrance, and waited. A few minutes later, Jimin arrived. His steps were light, his face adorned with that small smile that always made Jungkook feel as though the world had paused for a moment. Their eyes met, followed by a brief but meaningful silence. No words were needed, no explanations. Just being in each other's presence was enough. Jungkook stood up, greeted Jimin with a wide smile, and they sat across from one another. The atmosphere felt different from their usual gatherings. There was no schedule, no talk about practice or projects. Just two people wanting to enjoy time together. They ordered food, talked about their day, and laughed as even simple stories became more enjoyable when shared. Jungkook noticed how Jimin's eyes sparkled when he spoke, how his hands moved slightly when he was excited. Jimin, meanwhile, noticed how intently Jungkook listened, as if every word truly mattered. The food arrived, beautifully presented. They tasted it slowly, exchanging comments and occasionally feeding each other without realizing that those small gestures carried deeper meaning. And intimacy grew from simple things, from gazes that lingered a little too long, from smiles that were too sincere, from silences that felt comfortable rather than awkward. Jimin looked at Jungkook with a soft expression. There was something about the way Jungkook looked at him that night. More honest, more open, more daring. Jungkook felt that Jimin's presence made him want to be the best version of himself. Not as an idol or a superstar, but as someone genuine and authentic. Their conversation flowed naturally, touching on small dreams, the desire to rest, and the preciousness of simple moments like this. Jimin confessed that he loved it when Jungkook asked him out without any big agenda, just to enjoy time together. Jungkook smiled, feeling that sending that message was one of the best decisions he had made that day. In the middle of dinner, Jungkook laughed and admitted that he had been nervous before sending the invitation. Jimin looked at him with wide eyes, then smiled warmly. He said he hadn't hesitated at all when he read it. There was no reason to refuse, no reason to delay. For Jimin, spending time with Jungkook always felt right. Hearing that, Jungkook felt warmth spread through his chest, completely erasing his earlier nervousness. After dinner, they decided to take a short walk around the area. The night air was cool, and streetlights cast soft shadows along the sidewalk. They walked side by side, close but not awkward. Occasionally, their shoulders brushed, and each small touch felt like an extra heartbeat. Jimin looked up at the sky and said he wished moments like this could last longer. Jungkook turned to him and smiled, saying that as long as they were together, time always seemed to fly by. There was honesty in his words, and Jimin felt it. He returned Jungkook's gaze, silently conveying that the feeling was mutual. They stopped at a quiet street corner where small lights hung like artificial stars. Jungkook looked at Jimin, hesitated briefly, then said he was grateful that Jimin had accepted his invitation without hesitation. For Jungkook, it wasn't just a yes, but a sign of trust, a sign that Jimin felt comfortable with him. Jimin smiled and replied that for him, there was never a reason to hesitate when it was Jungkook who asked. When they finally parted, there was a hint of reluctance. Jungkook walked Jimin to his car to make sure he was safe. Before Jimin got in, they looked at each other for a few quiet seconds. There were no dramatic gestures, no exaggerated displays. Just smiles, shared gazes, and feelings that needed no explanation. On the way home, Jimin reflected on how quickly he had replied to Jungkook's message, without hesitation, without overthinking. He realized that his heart had already known the answer before his mind could catch up. Jungkook, meanwhile, drove home with a smile he couldn't hide. That night gave him new courage, a quiet certainty that his feelings were not one-sided. And that was the beauty of it. Jungkook daring to ask, Jimin accepting without hesitation. Two small actions carrying deep meaning. A story of courage, trust, and genuine feelings growing from togetherness. That night wasn't just about a new restaurant, but about small steps toward deeper intimacy, clearer emotions, and two hearts slowly finding the same rhythm. If you also felt the warmth of this moment, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next sweet Jikook story. Let us know in the comments which part made you smile or feel the most emotional. Thank you for watching, Army. See you in the next video with an even sweeter and more loving Jikook story. Purple Heart.